Before that, though, the latest news in 10 minutes from now. Now, you might remember that earlier this year, Australian adventurer Peter Bland cheated death when he plunged down a crevasse while attempting a crossing of the Antarctic Peninsula. He's still recovering from his injuries, suffering a fractured skull, dislocated hip, broken ribs and frostbite. In his first interview since he returned home after the accident, he has told the Today program's Nick McCallum that his days of risky adventuring are not over at all. And what's more, he has a response for his critics.
4 months on, Pete Bland's rehabilitation from his dramatic fall and rescue in the Antarctic still dominates his life.
My skull was cracked open right to the back end through my right ear. That leaves you with a condition, I guess, where you get quite fatigued. I had 4 cracked ribs. They're all fine now. But there was, for a while there, I wasn't allowed to laugh or sneeze.
There's equipment that sits on top of your hip.
My hip was dislocated for about 5 days, which means there may be some problems with blood flow to the bone, to the femur.
That's an abnormality showing up in the body.
I've still got sort of pins and needles in both feet. That's sort of a result, I guess, of the frostbite.
Could you do me a favour?
Pete currently works just 2 days a week, spending most of his time at his family farm with his wife Jules and 1-year-old daughter Olivia.
I think the position now is they're advising 9 months, 12 months. I'll be back to 100%, but I won't be 100% now, and I've sort of got used to that. Yeah.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a long time.
Holy cow. It's an awesome view. That is just amazing.
This video shot by Pete and released exclusively to Today as he and mate Jay Watson were attempting the first unsupported east-west crossing of the Antarctic Peninsula last January. Spirits were high.
Jay's over here pulling up his yak and I'm just about to pull mine up. We're going to get there. We are really going to get there. I'm pretty sure of it.
They were just 8 kilometres from completing their epic journey when, just as he had so many times before, Pete got up and out of his tent.
And in the time it took me for me to walk from the tent to the sled, which were 20 feet away, an avalanche must have just taken me.
As depicted in these artists' impressions, the avalanche swept Pete down a 40-metre crevasse. Partner Jay Watson eventually found him lying near death at the bottom and climbed down to him, reporting in by radio to their support ship in a nearby bay.
He's in great pain when I moved him. I think he's fairly serious, over.
Jay stayed with him for 3 days, waiting for rescuers from the ship's crew to arrive. Pete now wants to nominate him for a bravery award.
So for 3 days he lay on me to get my blood temperature up. I think it's an amazing performance.
This photo was taken just before Pete was flown to a Chilean base in a military helicopter, then on to a Chilean hospital in a military transport plane to be reunited with his family. Doctors say he's suffering post-trauma amnesia.
One day I was abseiling down an ice cliff with Jay and we thought, what a great trip. We're almost there, we'll get there tomorrow. The next thing I woke up and I was in a hospital in Chile. I know nothing in between.
Are you okay there, Peter?
Nothing else.
Good, okay. Give your toes a wriggle.
Pete may have to undergo hip reconstruction surgery, but what stings most is the criticism he's received about the cost of the rescue mission.
We've paid every bill we've ever been asked in Chilean hospitals and everything else in between. We've never been charged by the military, the army of Chile for that lift. We've thanked everybody in the community and Chilenos with the airlift.
Critics have also charged that adventures such as Pete's are pure folly. In the 21st century, they claim, they're self-indulgent. They say the Antarctic is no place for humans. Such claims anger Pete, who was the first Australian to trek to the magnetic south and north poles.
I wouldn't want to limit people from taking on challenges full stop, whether it's running the New York Marathon or like Columbus trying to discover America. I mean, you need people out there pushing the edges, and in pushing those edges, yeah, sometimes it does mean taking on a few risks.
Come here, Paddy!
And now he has so much time to think, he says he's not finished his adventures, despite the price he and his family have paid. He still wants to complete his historic Antarctic trek.
To be so close and then taken away by a freakish thing like an avalanche, yeah, that eats at me a little bit. In terms of my capacity to do it, without doubt, yes, I'd be able to do it again. I'm a challenge-driven person, and if you take away the challenge, have you still got the person? I don't know about that.
Pretty amazing story, isn't it?
I think he's a remarkable fellow.
Yeah, you have to be glad that there are people like that in the world, I think.
In spite of the critics.
He can have it on his own,
yeah,
but you know.
In spite of the critics.
Yeah.
And to get so close,
yeah,
you'd have to give it another shot, wouldn't you?
I have a feeling he's going to, actually.
I think you're right.
Someone counsels him against it, but I think he will. That exclusive report on Peter Bland's remarkable tale of survival was from the Today Show's Nick McCallum.